say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 23rd Annual Hall of Fame Gala. 37 individuals who have dedicated themselves to the broadcasting industry for 20 years or more will officially be inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight.
We also honor our community leaders who give of themselves and the organizations they represent in molding the footprint of our great state.
I'm Sebastian Ross, Nevada Broadcasters Foundation Scholarship recipient in tonight's Voice of God, or the VOG as Eric's script has it.
And I'm Kayleen Talents, also a Nevada Broadcasters Foundation Scholarship recipient and tonight's news correspondent. I'll be interrupting tonight's regularly scheduled program with breaking news live as it happens.
Tonight, we celebrate the role of a broadcaster and the impact we make on our community, from providing entertainment to serving our state as an informative resource. It is all of you that collectively make up such an awesome industry. It was nearly a year ago when tragedy struck and impacted the entire state. Now, while the night of 1 October will always be with us, it's not going to define us.
It did, however, demonstrate our continued professionalism, our dedication to the broadcast industry, and our ability to be recognized as leaders in the broadcast and journalism world. While you enjoy your dinner, please take a moment and pay witness to some of the best reporting ever seen, followed by our tribute to the broadcasters who have left us too soon.
Breaking news happening right now.
But we are on Las Vegas Boulevard.
This is breaking news from 8 News Now.
It's what we do.
They're kind of expanding the perimeter here.
We continue to see emergency vehicles arriving.
Something happens and we react as fast as we can. We get to the scene, we get the story. We are Nevada's broadcasters. We were there the night a peaceful gathering celebrating music and friendship became the scene of the deadliest mass shooting ever in the United States.
It is an active shooter emergency right now.
And multiple victims have been transported. In fact,
It was a night of terror.
Absolute chaos out here.
A night of sorrow.
Yeah, there's 3 here. Let's spin around real quick.
A night we will never forget because we were there. It was a night when ordinary citizens became heroes.
You guys!
When first responders again proved why we call them heroes.
Get out of here! There's gunshots coming from over there!
And when Nevada broadcasters dug deep within ourselves, controlled our emotions, and told the world the story, as horrible as it was. We were on it, all of us.
Police sources also
TV stations in Las Vegas Arena, broadcasting in English and Spanish.
At this moment after this mass shooting that took place.
Radio stations from all over Nevada.
The reason we're here early, it's not good news.
If you're hearing this station, you have heard of what has already happened earlier this evening at the Route 91 Harvest Festival.
Keeping listeners up to date.
SOS Radio.
The Route 91 Harvest Festival.
Reporters, photographers, producers, and anchors were the front line, while assignment desks were a flurry of activity and editors kept churning out fresh content. Management stayed one step ahead, making sure it all came together and sales and traffic departments pitched in too, making calls and helping wherever they could. And the engineers, they kept us on the air, locally, nationally, and all over the world.
I just did a phone interview with a national radio service in Australia.
Hundreds of Nevada broadcasters stepped in. Many weren't even scheduled. They came in as soon as they heard. No one called them, they just went to work, helping tell the story that needed to be told.
As we leave you tonight, a look at the lives lost this week.
58 souls were lost that night. We told their stories then. We're still telling their stories now. Stories of hope that's emerged from the horror, the determination that's come out of despair, and the strength of a community that is Vegas strong. We know every day will be different, that every story will be unique, and every situation will be a challenge. We're here because we need to be, because our communities depend on it, and because we hope we can make a difference. Nevada's broadcasters did make a difference that night. We're still making a difference today, and we're still asking why. It's what we do.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again, when I see you again. Why'd you have to leave so soon, yeah? Why'd you have to go? Why'd you have to leave me when I needed you the most? 'Cause I don't really know how to tell you without feeling much worse. I know you're in a better place, but it's always gonna hurt. Carry on. Give me all the strength I need to carry on. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again, when I see you again. When I see you again.
Stand by on Kim.
Ready, A.
3, 2, 1. Music, Mike, cue it.
From the Four Seasons Hotel in Las Vegas, the Nevada Broadcasters Association presents the 23rd Annual Hall of Fame Gala, celebrating the broadcasters of Nevada. Tonight, we celebrate and honor the people who build the broadcast industry and help shape the state of Nevada. CEO of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, Rossi Ralenkotter. President and COO of the Las Vegas 51s, Don Logan. Broadcasting pioneer, Hank Thornley. And the 2018 Hall of Fame inductees. Presentation of scholars by Tony and Linda Benici. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of the Nevada Broadcasters Association, Mitch Fox.
Thank you. Well, good evening. Good evening. Is this the most unbelievable meal you've had at least in a week, right? No, it's fantastic. Let's give it up for the Four Seasons for this amazing meal. I'd like to welcome you and thank you for attending the 23rd Annual Nevada Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame Gala. I've attended this event many times in the past, but this is the first time that I'm attending this event as president of this association. Thank you. We'll be honoring two phenomenal community leaders tonight and a broadcast pioneer who's 101 years old. I mean, Hank Thornley will tell you stories about Eleanor Roosevelt and Jack Kennedy. Phenomenal. We'll also induct 37 Hall of Fame veterans of our industry and recognize, and this is one of the best parts, right? 32 scholarship recipients. My predecessor, the president and CEO of the Las Vegas Metro Chamber of Commerce, Mary Beth Seawald, is here tonight. Mary Beth, stand up, just give me a wave. She left this organization in great shape, and because of an amazing staff, who I'll introduce in a moment, and my board of directors, this organization has never been more respected and more influential. In many ways, it's the envy of state associations around the country. The individuals who've helped make this a reality are my board of directors. Please stand if you're on the board of directors of the Nevada Broadcasters Association. Please stand and be recognized. Awesome. And if you're a member of my executive committee, Todd, Amy, Lawson, Viola, and Tony, please stand. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your support. I truly respect your wise counsel. I also want to acknowledge my beautiful wife, Kitty, who's got her iPhone on me right now. Please stand. Come on. And my sons, Cameron and Griffin, who are right over there. Please stand. Finally, I'd like to recognize my staff. Suzanne Smith, who's actually been at more of these galas because she goes way back with the association. I'd like to recognize her, as well as Melanie Muller, who worked so hard to make this gala a success. And by the way, before you clap for them, I've got to tell you, Melanie is leaving us. I know. I did the same thing when she told me. But her and her husband, Frank, are moving to northern Utah to operate and run 2 radio stations in northern Utah. So that is awesome. Can we also thank Richard Giacovino for producing all of tonight's videos. He's doing a tremendous job. Thank you, Richard. And finally, I want to recognize someone who's largely responsible for the success of this gala, our NCSA program, the Nevada Broadcasters Foundation, and so many other responsibilities. I depend upon his wisdom and experience so much to make this association a success. He's doing so much. He's even producing a documentary on the opioid crisis here in the state of Nevada. He's a passionate defender of our industry, and I want you to welcome to the platform, I hope he's in the room right now, because he is this year's recipient of the Nevada Broadcasters Association Leadership Award. Please welcome Eric Benici. Come up here. Come on. Come on, Eric. Come on. Come on. Up. Come on.
This is a surprise. I had no idea. You know, it was always a passion of mine when I first got into the industry. a little over 30 years ago, and I saw Bob Fisher, who is Mary Beth's predecessor, running this organization. And I leaned over to my general manager at that time, Deanne Sheehan, who's in the room, and I said, I'm going to work for that organization someday. I am honored. Thank you, Mitch. This is a surprise. Gosh. Everybody have a great time tonight, okay? Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Nevada Broadcasters Association, believe it or not, has been in existence for almost 60 years. But rather than review this organization's glorious history, let me tell you what we're doing now, and it's fantastic. We are extending the influence of broadcasters on local, state, and federal levels by proactively promoting and defending our industry. During 2018, we engaged Nevada's broadcasters with elected officials, community leaders, and business people throughout the state. We met with Governor Brian Sandoval. We had multiple meetings with every member of our congressional delegation in Washington, D.C. and in Nevada. And we met with the chairman of the FCC, and we had a mayor's mixer with Henderson Mayor Deborah March and North Las Vegas Mayor John Lee, who are sitting right here. Give them a warm welcome. Thank you so much, you two. Thank you for supporting our association. We received additional support in our battle to fight back attempts by the record labels to tax radio stations simply for promoting and playing the music that listeners like to hear. We told our members of Congress to watch out for Microsoft's Spectrum grab. We thanked them for their support of repack funding. We told them to support free market negotiation on the issue of retransmission consent. And tonight we thank the National Association of Broadcasters for defending our industry and NAB Executive Vice President Chris Brown for being here this evening. Chris, please stand and be recognized. And I also want to thank former Congressman John Porter and the Porter Group for helping us to advocate on behalf of our industry. Chris Porter is right down there. Thank you so much, Porter Group. In the 12 months since we gathered here at the Four Seasons, our state has changed. On October 1st, 2017, 10 tragic minutes tried to define who we are as a community. The images of 58 people being senselessly murdered were juxtaposed with video of first responders doing what they do best. If there was ever a moment when broadcasters met the challenge and reported on the unthinkable, it was on 1 October. In the aftermath of that horrific incident, we saw residents lining up for blocks to give blood. We saw generosity and community spirit unlike anything we've ever seen. The stories and images of courage and compassion were communicated to the world because of all of you, the radio and television stations throughout our great state. We saw the very best of Nevada in the midst of unspeakable horror because of Nevada's broadcasters. Tonight, we salute and commend the news reporters, the news directors, the anchors, the assignment editors, the traffic managers, the engineers, the producers, the radio DJs who told stories that gave us hope, made us weep, and gave us pride that we are Nevada strong. Thank you very much. And now, I'd like to introduce someone who's given countless hours to this association. She has been an invaluable advisor, bringing years of experience and wise counsel to the position of chairwoman. It gives me great honor to introduce the chairwoman of the board of the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the senior vice president and general manager of Entravision RENA, Viola Cody.
Mitch, back at you. Congratulations on being president. You're doing a fabulous job as well. I'm really happy to be here again this year. It's so exciting to see all of you show up. Oh, whoops. I forget how short I am. I think I'm really tall, but I'm not. I'd also like to thank the Board of Directors and the Executive Committee for their tireless leadership and dedication to the Nevada Broadcasters Association. And special thanks to our Vice President, Eric Bonici. Fabulous job. I'm so glad to see he got an award. And I'd also like to thank our business manager, Melanie Mueller, no relation to Bob Mueller, and to Suzanne Smith, our production and traffic coordinator, for the heavy lifting in organizing this gala tonight. Thank you guys so very much. I don't know, I'm allergic to something here tonight, so excuse my voice. But, you know, we're here tonight for two very special reasons. The first reason is to recognize and express our profound thanks and appreciation for the 2018 inductees of the Nevada Broadcasters Hall of Fame. These folks are being inducted for their 20 years and over. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have done this for more than 20 years of service in broadcasting, which is no small feat, trust me. From general managers who oversee the operations of our TV and radio stations, to the sales managers and their sales team who sell advertising so we can pay the bills and keep the lights on for you. To our engineers who make sure we stay on the air so that you can continue to watch and listen to your favorite programming. To business managers and other administrative staff who we can't get through the day without. To our traffic managers and our master control operators who schedule commercials and public service announcements and make sure they run properly and on time. To our promotions, production, and programming departments who produce content and execute promotions with exciting contests and prize giveaways for listeners and viewers like you. To our radio personalities who, when we drive to work back and forth every day, they make your drive a lot more entertaining and enjoyable. To the folks in our news departments, the anchors, the reporters, photographers, news directors, producers, assignment editors, writers, managers, and more, who provide news stories and emergency information for our benefit, especially during these challenging times when people don't know who or what to believe. But I want to assure you that while we're not perfect, and while we do make mistakes, our news organizations strive to do their best to be fair, to be honest, and to be as accurate as possible in their news gathering efforts. So these are the people that are being honored today. Many who work behind the scenes, who have chosen a career that won't make them rich, but who are passionate about what they do every day and who show up for work dedicated to serving our local communities. And the second reason we're here is to raise money for the Tony and Linda Bonici Scholarship Foundation. Through the years, because of people like you, the foundation has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars providing scholarships to students interested in broadcasting careers. Many of these students have graduated and are now employed in many broadcast stations throughout the state and elsewhere. So thank you again for coming. I am so happy to see you all, for donating to such a worthy cause, and for your support of the Nevada Broadcasters Association. And finally, there's really a third reason for us to be here, and that's to have fun. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Cheers.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin. This just in, People magazine released their picks for the top 100 sexiest men, and it was no surprise on who was named as America's sexiest man alive. Wow.
The Nevada Broadcasters Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes a lifetime of dedication and commitment to the broadcast industry.
November
December 3rd, 1917.
On the day Hank Thornley was born, Woodrow Wilson was in the White House. World War I raged in Europe. His first foray to Las Vegas came before the Strip even existed.
I got married here in 1938 to my wife, Marion. I've lived most of my life here, the biggest part of my life. So it's always been very, I've loved it.
His earliest home had no electricity, no telephone. Thornley remembers his first exposure to radio, the technology that changed the course of his life. His brother, a Boy Scout, created a crude radio inside a cigar box.
And he says, put these on, gives me a pair of hard headset, and I hear music. And this, after a while, this announcer comes on and he says, you're listening to the music of Wayne King and his orchestra from the beautiful White City Ballroom in downtown Ogden. And I thought, what the hell is this? You know, this is witchcraft.
Thornley worked as a radio newsman in Sacramento, then made the transition to TV anchorman. But in 1962, he was lured away by booming Las Vegas and its premier TV station, KLAS, which at the time didn't have a news department.
They had nothing organized. They had a teletype machine, and that's about all.
Thornley built a news operation from scratch, one employee and one piece of equipment at a time.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Here are the latest headlines.
As the first anchorman and news director, Thornley had a ringside seat to the explosive growth of the city.
Turning now to news of the West.
His fledgling news operation covered notable figures, from Sheriff Ralph Lamb to President JFK, and Beatlemania. Channel 8 News became dominant. Thornley's stature led to a political career for a while, then he returned to news at Channel 13. One news story that never aired stands out in his mind, a half-hour special on the anniversary of Howard Hughes' flight around the world. Because Hughes owned KLAS at the time, the reclusive billionaire screened the show before it was broadcast and sent this message.
It's a good job. It's fantastic. It brought back a lot of wonderful memories, but please tell them I don't want them to use it. It would look like blowing my own horn, and I don't want that.
Thornley is a member of the KLAS Hall of Fame, the Nevada Broadcasters Hall of Fame, and has earned numerous other honors, but is proudest of his many offspring, which now include his first great-great-grandchild.
I'm the most blessed man you ever met. And I don't know why. If God was saving me for something, he hasn't told me yet what it is that I'm supposed to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hank Thornley could not be here tonight. Please welcome Jeremy Zarowitz, Hank Thornley's grandson.
Forget how tall I am. Thank you so much. On behalf of my grandpa, this award just means so much to him. And he's really disappointed that he couldn't be here tonight, but he's just so appreciative to the Nevada Broadcasters Association, in particular to Linda, Tony, and Eric Bonici. And he just really wants to say thank you so much for this wonderful award. Those of you who know my grandpa know this is true, but for those of you who don't, he's just one of the most amazing people you'll ever meet in your life. In his life, he's been so many different things. He's been a son and a brother. He's been a boxer and a broadcaster. He's been a county commissioner, a candidate for governor. He's been an anchorman and a businessman. He's been a husband, a father, a grandfather, a great-grandfather, and as of last January, a great-great-grandfather. He's a friend and a mentor, and For me personally, for me personally, and for I know a lot of people in this room, he's a role model and he's an inspiration. He couldn't be here tonight, but he did record a video for the Nevada Broadcasters Association, thanking them for this award, and I hope here it is.
Well, Hank, first of all, to use the word legend is kind of overused when you think of Hank Thornley and legend, because you have been such a broadcaster's role model, pioneer in this town for decades and decades and decades. Channel 8 and Channel 13.
Yeah.
And you took a foray into elected office and politics, and radio is part of your background as well. So really, as president of the association, I felt, my board felt, that you should be honored during the gala this year in August and receive the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Nevada Broadcasters Association.
You're not joking.
I am not joking.
I love what you're saying, but there are so many that have done more than this guy that certainly I've never thought of me in that term, but God, I had no idea.
Please.
And thank you so much. I thought we were going to talk about the history of broadcasting in Nevada. I had no idea something like this was afoot. Thank you. I can't tell you at this time how much I appreciate it. I want to believe everything you said about me. It's all sounded pretty good, but a lot of times it didn't look that way from my point of view. But I have been such a supporter and admirer of the Nevada Broadcasters from the time it was conceived, that I think that body itself deserves so much credit in this state. Served the public, not just the broadcasters, but served the public of Nevada in an extremely fine way. And I'm proud to be a member, and I'm extremely proud to be selected for this honor. I hope I deserve it.
Thank you again.
Now, we remind you, the silent auction is still open, and all proceeds benefit the Tony and Linda Benici Broadcasting Scholarship Fund. Please check your smartphones for updates or see a GiveSmart representative. The Community Achievement Award is given to individuals and companies for their selfless contributions to the community in the Silver State.
Don Logan.
Donnie Baseball.
What can we say about the guy? He's a great human being.
He's always just a home run.
When you think of a guy who is Mr. Las Vegas, who knows everybody in Las Vegas, who's a mover and shaker in Las Vegas, well, it's got to be Don Logan.
The people that know him well understand that as a person.
Who's a mover and shaker in Las Vegas, well, it's got to be Don Logan.
The people that know him well understand that as a person, you don't find too many people better.
Don't ever remember him saying no for anything to help people out.
Pillars in the community who have done so much, given tirelessly of their efforts, their time to help this community become a better place, and Don's done it through sporting events.
First and foremost, he's a Tonopah, Nevada kid, that his roots are Nevada. And the support of AAA baseball over the past 4 decades has been successful because of that relationship with the community. And not only the families that bring the kids out, but also the business community, the Chamber of Commerce, the gaming industry. It's critically important that they were supporting the franchise so we could provide the product, the entertainment, the game that people would want to come out and be a part of.
He is a true friend as an employer. He's a true friend as a friend. He's a true friend as a community leader.
For him to commit and stay in this community and continue with this franchise for that many years is very, very unique. And it was because of Don Logan that the success of that franchise has lasted so long.
And a rare tribute to someone's life. In my estimation, Don Logan deserves such recognition, not just for what he has achieved in baseball, for this franchise having become so interwoven in the fabric of this community, but equally for the way he has become such a respected leader in Southern Nevada.
Every once in a while you might see Don out there. You know what? You don't see him out there strolling because he's just always busy, always working. So in my personal opinion, he's the hardest worker in Las Vegas because he's always doing something for the community.
He has come into the community wanting to make a difference, and not just in baseball, but just in doing what he does. And anybody who comes to Don with their nonprofit or their, in particular, favorite charity, whether it's from Honor Flight Southern Nevada, flying World War II vets, to back to Washington, D.C., to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. I could just go on and on.
Through the years, the different sportscasters, the different people, and not just Channel 8, but all the different television stations, Don's been one of those guys who is open, understands our needs, has been a friend to all of us, and so we've all been a friend to Don Logan, and so happy that he got this honor. Congratulations.
I'm someone who also knows Don for the exceptional human being he is. And when you're fortunate to know him in that way, as many others here are, then the more complete virtue of this award shines brightly. Recognition for all the right reasons.
We're proud that you're our friend and our partner, and you receiving the Community Achievement Award is no mistake, my friend. You deserve it.
He's a great man and so deserving of this award.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president and COO of the Las Vegas 51s and this year's Community Achievement Award recipient, Don Logan.
I lost my red pen, that's trouble. Thank you very much. I mean, that was very humbling. I honestly, LB, you're the man, not me. I mean, that's crazy. The first thing I have to tell you all tonight, though, and one of the biggest parts of broadcasting is selling. If you got to get out there and just sell it, you got to get it done. Anybody that knows Denny Weddle has to know that right now he is the best salesman in the house. You got to check that out. That is fantastic. Honestly, and I am honored and very humbled by all the kind things that people said about me. Chris, Larry, Tony, Jess, I love you guys. You know, this is something that I've been to this event many times, and what we do and what you do as an organization is fantastic because and Hank said it, you know, this is about taking care of the public. It's not just about us, everybody in this room. And he's so smart and so intuitive and understanding that. But I thank all of you for being here tonight. Being honored with Hank and Rossi is couldn't be better. I mean, you saw what Hank said. I think back to one of the first things I did. I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I got in this business. Honestly, I thought I was going to be a lawyer and be an agent, and all of a sudden I'm selling frickin' program ads and billboards. And so my old buddy Bob Bloom sets me up with Hank Thornley, and I'm supposed to go over to KFM, and we're gonna talk to him about a partnership. But I got to talk to the GM, a guy named Jack Abel, and I saw Jack earlier tonight, and I told him I'd tell him this story. And so we go into the room, and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. Jack's hanging on by a thread, and I'm like, I could run and gun with the best of them. And I'd been out late, but I haven't been out as late as he had, obviously. And but we're sitting there, we're having this conversation about they want to have a billboard at the ballpark, but I want to sell them a billboard, and they want to have a big chunk of our ad buy. And so go back and forth, back and forth. And Hank finally says, why don't we exchange prisoners? You know, you spend with us and we'll spend with you. And I said, that's a hell of an idea. We're not gonna, because I didn't want to trade anything out, because that wasn't what we were all about. And then I go back and I said, Bloomer, I'm like, why was that Jack Abel guy there? And he said, I don't know, but Hank's one of the owners of the station. I mean, he was the sales manager, but he was the owner. So that's my first interaction with Hank. It couldn't have been for 20 years. He was, you know, he'd call me out of the blue and need something, and we're always there for him, whatever, tickets, whatever. Wonderful, wonderful human being. Couldn't be a better guy. And when you talk about great guys, though, the first name that should come to your mind in Las Vegas is Rossi Ralenkotter. I mean, I've been blessed to call Rossi a friend for 35 years. There's no better human being on the planet. And when you say that, that's a big statement. And I will tell you, he says jeepers. I say a lot of other things instead of jeepers. You know, he is just a phenomenal person. A lot of things have been said and written about him lately, and they're completely off base. People that have said those things don't understand what they're talking about. They don't understand the quality of the human being that he is. He's got integrity. He is the best family guy. Jenny and I talked about it. She said, you can't do that. I said, I'm going to do it, because there's nobody better than Rossi. And I'm telling you what, this community, he is a community treasure. You list the 10 people that have made Las Vegas what it is today, he's on that list. I mean, he's the most fantastic guy we've ever had. So we touched on it. Tony just talked in that little comment thing about what's made professional baseball here. Now, you know, we got the Knights, we got the Raiders, we got the Lights, we got the Aces, which is great. But we started this. You know, we're the ones that got this. We got this whole thing rolling. And honestly, Bloomer had a hand in this too, and I think about him all the time. We decided back in the day, we couldn't buy a ton of money. We worked with R&R, Sig Rogich at the time, but Billy V, and today, you know, it was about, we had to connect with this community. So what we did is we got involved in every charitable and community event we could. And to this day, we continue to do that. I think that when you talk about, there's been 26 professional franchises come and go and fail while we've been in existence. And the reason we've succeeded is because we care about the community. It's about, the whole thing is about being a good community partner. And a lot of times, you know, guys run in here and they're trying to make money, and obviously the market has changed so dramatically year to year to year. But we have been a constant, you know, you can rely on us, you can rely on our people, we're gonna be there for you. And I think that's why we've succeeded, you know. And now the Las Vegas ballpark is going to be fantastic. The partnership with the Howard Hughes organization, Tom Warden, old broadcast guys over here tonight. It's you know, when you guys come out there, and the biggest thing we got to avoid is Mike Gillardi bringing his girls out to the pool, because that's going to happen. But it's going to be birthday parties and fun stuff first. But that ballpark, when you all see that, is going to be unbelievable. It's going to change the face, and the price point is going to be much more agreeable to a lot of people. So it's going to be fantastic. Tone, I love you like a brother. You know, Tony, way back when Nancy Reynolds was running, it wasn't Lotus at the time. I don't even know what the hell the name of the company was. But Tony, we showed up at a meeting together, and Nancy Reynolds and Tony Benici, he was a construction guy, and I'm a freaking wannabe lawyer, and we're in a meeting talking about, you know, selling sponsorships and spots and billboards and all this. And we formed a friendship then that's lasted and flourishes today. And what Tony and Linda do for this organization and for this community. And it really manifests itself in a night like tonight. The foundation and the scholarships and these kids, I mean, they walk up, they don't even know who the hell you are, and they're like, boom. Tone, Linda, you are fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this. Mitch, you touched on it earlier. You, Eric, Melanie, and Suzanne, what you guys do as an organization, I'm involved in a lot of charities, obviously, but the way that this is organized, the way that this event's put together, fantastic. A big hand for you for doing such a great job with that. Big part of what we have become as an organization really is tied to Tony. Again, I mean, it's the internal DNA of our organization is being involved with Lotus Broadcasting, and we're so fortunate. He's carried our games for, I think, 32 years, ever since, in fact, Bloomer and Hank screwed up the deal. They had an AM station, and all of a sudden, then they didn't have an AM station. I said, Tony, we need help a brother out, and he did. So we've had that great association going. But Jess, love you like a brother. You're Jesse, and you all know Jesse. Nobody doesn't know Jesse. He's fantastic. Deanne's been our AE. She said tonight 84. I think it's 86, but whatever it is, Deanne Sheehan, fantastic and great partner. Deanne and Dottie, who's our media buyer, they come dollar beer night. Every Thursday is dollar beer night at Cashman Field, and dollar beer night for them means free Pinot Grigio because they don't pay for it. They come down, they come to Club Chuck and drink free Pinot Grigio on us, and it's fantastic. We have a great time with that. Natalie, Tommy Hum, now, and that's another thing Tony did. He brought Tommy Hum over recently. You know, he's just that guy. He's fantastic. Talking about our staff and the people that really make us tick, I mentioned LB earlier. Larry Brown and Larry came here as a player in 83 and 84. His wife Celeste, we were 344. You guys were 337, I believe. We lived across the street from one another. Our kids were born together. The friendship is deep, and it'll never waver. And Larry still works with us today. He's such a great guy. And when I say it works with us, you know, our staff, it's always what I've through the years, it's about us and we. It's not about I and me. I get to do the speeches. I get to get all this stuff, but this is about all the people that work for us. And I couldn't be luckier. I've worked with so many great people over the years, the STAR staff, the 51 staff, and now the whatever it's going to be staff. But we're going to come up with that pretty soon. But I thank all of you very much. I'm very honored to be here tonight, and I appreciate all everything people have said, what you guys said earlier. It's fantastic, and again, thank you.
And we're coming to you once again live from the Four Seasons Las Vegas, where there seems to be some commotion. It appears that there are still some good deed doers out there. A $5,000 per month donation has been made in perpetuity to the Nevada Broadcasters Scholarship Fund by an unknown donor until now. Sources reveal the identity of the Secret Santa.
Please welcome the namesakes of the Nevada Broadcasters Foundation Scholarship Fund, Tony and Linda Benici.
This is really bad. Look how big the writing is, and I still put my glasses on. All right, so first I want to just welcome everybody for being here tonight. Thank you for attending, and thank you for bidding on all the silent and live auction stuff. That's what this is all about for us. So a special thank you to the broadcasters and all their partners as well for all the great donations you gave for us to auction off. Thank you very much for that.
Absolutely. Can you believe it? This is 8 years What started as 4 scholarships our first year has grown to 32 this year. "23 are returning to school, and there are 9 brand new scholarships this year. That's 145 total over the 8 years. The Scholarship Fund was formed to create awareness and replenishment for the broadcast industry. These bright young minds will help us to evolve and stay relevant.
So the broadcasters are taking advantage of hiring these ambitious and bright recipients as it was planned from the very beginning. But what's happened is it's changed a little bit. All of a sudden, we've never thought we were going to have 30 scholarship graduates in a year. So a lot of them are going out to ad agencies, to PR firms, to all different industry, casino industry. They're getting jobs in communications and marketing in a lot of different industries. So it's become bigger than just broadcasting.
Like everyone, I'm sorry, we need to say a few thank yous because all of this doesn't happen by itself. It's a lot of hard work. First, we want to thank our fabulous fundraising committees, our chairs and their committees, Dame Wild and Amy Chapman up in the north. Fabulous job. They throw a hell of a golf tournament, let me tell you. Christine Anderson and Pat Miller here in the south. They coordinated all the details for the golf tournament that was here in the south and also on tonight's auctions.
All right, we also want to thank our foundation board, Mitch Fox, thank you very much. He's, as you know, the president of Nevada Broadcasters. Al Stavinsky, you're right there, thank you very much. He is the dean of the Reynolds School of Journalism at the University of Nevada. We're having a whole north and south conversation over there, but
at our table.
Anyway, Kevin Stalker, director of the Greenspun School of Media at UNLV.
Go Rebels.
Jim McCusick with the Gary Company. Amy Chapman with Sinclair Broadcasting in Reno. Christine Anderson with Lotus Broadcasting. Pat Miller with Sinclair Broadcasting. Venus Hamill with Intercom Broadcasting. And a former recipient of our scholarship, Valerie Perrit, is also on the board today.
Keeping family involved in this, our daughter, Courtney, who is here tonight, mother of the 2 most beautiful grandbabies in the whole world, serves as well, and also Eric Benici, our brother, is our executive director and does a fabulous job. Please give him a round of applause. We didn't know he was getting the award tonight, but so well deserved.
Is it back to me?
No. There are 4 very special scholarships awarded each year, and these are in memory typically of someone for a long time hard work or years in the business. The Deanne Sheehan Scholarship this year was awarded to George Lopez. Robert Quaintance, who is the son, for anyone who's been here as long as we have, of Cat Thomas from KLUC days. He received the Mike Geary Scholarship for his creativity. The Dan and Cheryl Lee Scholarship, Dan was in radio for a long time, has gone to Sebastian Ross, our voice of God in the corner here. And Jason Takajian was awarded the Colin Cowherd Sports Scholarship. He is all about sports. You need to talk to him if you need somebody in that field.
And then I want to thank Donnie and Rossi both. When I went to these guys and asked them if they would be the recipients, it's all about getting you all here to donate, to buy auction items, and both those guys accepted. Which, these are guys that that could say no easily because I get so much request to do that. And I just want to say thank you to both you guys for doing that. So thank you.
Yes. And I just have to say a personal note about Hank Thornley. When I first got in the business at 20 years old, I went to work at KFM. Hank was 60. I didn't know it at the time. I just knew he was older. He was 60, I was 20. And we know each other today very well. He is 100 and I'm 60. That just blows my mind. He is my hero. He is such a great guy.
So I want to thank Jack Cavino for this video that we're going to, Richard Jacovino. Sorry about that. I want to thank Richard for this video you're about to watch, and it's very touching, so please watch.
Going to the interview, just make sure that I'll speak from my heart.
I'm just happy that I get all the opportunities that comes along with the scholarship.
This process, it's been an enjoyable one, and it's kept me eager to continue my education.
The scholarship, even though it has mine and Linda's name on it, is really not about us.
It was a matter of knowing that we needed some new, fresh blood in our business.
Once I was 20 years old, my story got told.
My ultimate end goal was to be a reporter. Very influenced by Christiane Amanpour. She's like such a big inspiration to me.
I'm really interested in like online broadcasting, such as live stream.
I want to pursue getting my own radio show or even being on air.
I want to be an investigative reporter. I'd like to go into PR for a broadcasting company.
Well, good morning, America. This is Nick Wortham.
Some students really need the money, and other students need to hear from the professionals that sit around this table that guide them and direct them and show them that a career in broadcasting is probably one of the most significant positions that they can hold. Because of the Tony and Linda Benici Scholarship Fund, they're going to be able to go to school.
We pay the biggest part, the biggest chunk, which is the tuition.
They submit their application with their transcripts. If they meet all those criteria, then they've made it to the next step, and that's the face-to-face interview with the board.
Even in the talks of being in the run to be a scholar.
I know what I want to do, and I know the goals that I want to achieve.
Like for the rest of my life until like retirement, I'll be successful in the broadcast industry.
You can just feel it, their passion, that they really want to be in broadcasting. And you know they're nervous.
This morning was really anxious.
Just happy that I was able to actually try and apply for the scholarship, and I've come this far, which is great.
I thought it was an interview, and then it was like 2 weeks, we'll get back to you. I was hoping that they wouldn't call me in to tell me to go home, but it's, anything's possible.
The caliber of the student just totally impresses me. I mean, these are students that want it.
I've always looked up to different broadcasters, whether it's like late night people, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, those kind of guys, radio broadcasters like Sway in the Morning, Hot 97, those even local like Chet Buchanan, all those different kind of big name broadcasters. I've always kind of looked up to them and just always wanted to do something fun like that.
I try to keep the presence of mind that the world is bigger than me, and the things that are going on in the world are bigger than the things that are going on with me. So with that in the back of my mind, why not? Why wouldn't I want to use some of my time just to make my surroundings and make my community better?
We have narrowed it down to 9 new applicants who all think that they're coming in for their final interview. What they will soon learn is that all 9 have been awarded scholarships through the Tony and Linda Benici Scholarship Fund.
We brought you here today to let you know that you have been awarded a scholarship, and we want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
You've been awarded a scholarship. So we want to congratulate you.
You have been awarded a
Oh my
scholarship
gosh,
from
thank you. I was like,
1, 2, 3.
Unanimously,
well, congratulations.
You made
You
it.
made it.
He's like, what? Really?
With 23 returning scholars and 9 new scholarships, that's a total of 32 scholarships the Nevada Broadcasters Foundation will award this year alone.
Congratulations. You have been awarded a scholarship. That you've been awarded a scholarship.
Are you
from
serious?
us. Yes.
Thank you, guys. I'm gonna cry.
You are one of the students.
We would like you on the list of scholarship recipients.
No way.
Congratulations. So congratulations.
We brought you in to tell you that you have been awarded a scholarship from us. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Congratulations. You have been awarded a scholarship from our foundation. So congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
In just 8 short years, the Nevada Broadcasters Foundation has awarded a total of 145 scholarships to talented and dedicated students of broadcasting.
This was just a dramatic change in my life and just a drastic step forward in my life, and just make sure not to take this lightly.
What does it take to be successful? You work hard, be honest, and be humble, and success will automatically follow.
I'm sitting here shaking in disbelief, but I got the scholarship.
And they decided to award me the scholarship.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
That's a big congratulations.
Congratulations.
Don't cry. It's gonna start again. Stop that.
Emma, ya salí de aquí estoy en la entrevista y me dijeron que ya me dieron la beca.
Oh my God.
Sí, ya sé.
Te digo, Charlie.
Sí.
Thank you so much.
Sí, ma. Te quiero mucho, ma. Bye. Adiós.
Tú también, dijo. Dile que muchas gracias y que Dios los bendiga a todos.
Okay.
Porque tú eres un muchacho y yo sé que lo necesitas. Y ahorita le voy a decir a tus hermanos y tu papá.
Okay, bye.
Muchas gracias.
Okay, ma. Ahorita lo digo. Ahorita lo digo.
We support you and know that we're always here for you.
Study hard, and someday they'll be running this foundation.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned up. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. No, I've still got a lot of fire left in me.
Good looking group, isn't it? Yeah. Woo. Take a good look. This is who you're hiring in the next 4 years. Okay.
Please welcome back to the stage, President of the Nevada Broadcasters Association, Mitch Fox.
Hey! I need everybody's attention. I need everybody's attention. First of all, can we give it up for Jeff Manning? Terrific job on the auction. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We come to a very, very important portion of the program tonight. It's the President's Award. And when we were talking about who should be the recipient of the President's Award, and I was talking with my board, and I was talking with staff, I said, what about Rossi? I said, who else has done more for our tourism and convention business than this man over a career of 45 years? Who has done more for this community in the way of, through recessions and ups and downs of our economy? I've been in this town for many decades. And I've covered his career, and I've watched him how he and the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority responded after 9/11 or responded during the recession of 2008. And I will tell you, it's because of the foresight of people in this room and because of this man that our economy rebounded, and right now it's firing on all 8 cylinders. So each year, someone is chosen for this very, very prestigious honor. Someone who demonstrates uncommon leadership, innovative thinking, and a career that demonstrates the very best that Nevada has to offer.
Rossi is a graduate of Bishop Corman High School. Later on, when I became president of the school, Rossi's a big baseball fan.
We talk baseball a lot.
Rossi's love for the Beatles is nothing short of remarkable. I think he actually has the first ticket he ever bought for the Beatles at $3.50 at the convention center. I think when he saw the passion that people have for the Beatles, when he saw the amount of energy that a group like that can lead an audience, I think it really did give him an effect in the sense of, I can be a leader like these guys.
I think if you guys talk to the top 25 convention people in the world, from Gary Shapiro at CES to the folks at Magic and Home Builders and ConAgra, et cetera, they'll tell you he's number 1.
I think love for Las Vegas, it was more than a job for him, a vocation, truly called to sell Las Vegas. I mean that in the best possible way, to promote our city, to serve our community. I think that's something he simply lives to do.
We sort of take some people for granted here because we've always had them here. Probably one of the hardest working people I've ever been around.
I think Rossi is a quiet motivator, is going to put you in a position to be successful. I think he motivates with his actions more than anything.
Promoting our city, promoting Nevada, and all that helps everyone.
He could have any other convention authority job in the world, any other tourism job. I remember after Manny retired, there was some talk of a national search. Rossi was the most recommended person to bureaus and tourism authorities throughout the country and the world, and for 2 and 3 times the money.
Being inducted into the National Advertising Hall of Fame, being the brand marketer of the year for Adweek magazine with What Atmosphere Stays Here was a tremendous example of his accomplishments.
Rossi, those of us in the gaming and hospitality industry recognize your many accomplishments over the years. The Las Vegas convention business today would not be where it is without you.
Our state is blessed with all kinds of wonderful people, and I've been fortunate to meet a good many of them, and Rossi's among them.
This award, I think, is a marquee moment of Rossi's career. To be honored by the Nevada broadcasters, by his peers in the resort industry, and by others in the business community here in Las Vegas, it is just a remarkable thing.
Congratulations, the Nevada Broadcasters Association could not have picked a better Las Vegan to honor. Your 45 years with the Las Vegas Visitors and Convention Authority have been exemplary.
Your background as a marketer, your connectivity with media, particularly the broadcasters of the state, has been so connective that I'm really proud of you for being honored and proud of the broadcasters for honoring you. I think it's a relationship that has been amazing for the last 45 years. So congratulations to you, to Mary Jo, and I hope you're having a wonderful night.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome the recipient of this year's President Award, the CEO of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, Rossi Ralenkotter.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be selected by the Nevada broadcasters with this prestigious award tonight. It means an awful lot to me. It means an awful lot to my family, and I want to thank them again. I also want to compliment the other two members of the class of 2018 Hall of Fame. Hank Thornley, I grew up in Las Vegas and grew up watching Channel 8, and his voice was the voice of reason and the voice of what was happening in Las Vegas at the time. And that video really brought back some great memories of all the things that he did, but that velvet voice that he had, as well as building blocks for all of you in the future, is really what Hank left us. So congratulations to Hank. If I knew that Don Logan was going to do his Shecky Green impersonation up here, I don't think I wanted to follow him, but Don and I have been friends ever since he came to Las Vegas with the Las Vegas Stars. And of course, the Convention Authority was the landlord at Cashman Center, and so we got to be friends pretty quick because I'm a big baseball fan. The Reds are still the best. But we had that bond going with us, and we wanted to make sure that AAA baseball was successful in Las Vegas. And Don was the guy to do it. He's Mr. Baseball as far as I'm concerned. In fact, if you go with him to the winter baseball meetings or any place else that there's Major League Baseball players or owners or past players, Don Logan is known by everybody. And he's been one of the reasons why it's been successful. It's going to be moving to that new home out in Summerlin at the Las Vegas ballpark. And I know he'll do a great job with that. A couple other things, though, that Don has done for the destination, which I think needs to be mentioned. First of all, it was his idea to bring spring training to Las Vegas and what we call the Big League Weekend. And when we did that, we did something that the other cities weren't doing, and that was trying to make an event out of exhibition baseball games. And so that started, and it's been successful over the years. But he's been part of a team that has made that successful too, because his wife Jen Logan is also part of R&R Partners, and Jen has been the one who has held that Big League Weekend together over the years, as well as being a part of all of the stuff that she does for fulfillment for the convention center. So Jen, thank you for that. And then Don was also instrumental in allowing us to pitch the winter baseball meetings. And so Las Vegas will be hosting them again in December of this year. So he was part of that, as well as the All-Star game for the Pacific Coast League and a lot of other innovative things that we will be seeing in the future. So Don, congratulations and great job. And you really deserve the honor tonight. So let's have another round for Don. Just a couple of recognitions. First of all, I want to thank Chris Brown from the National Association of Broadcasters who came in tonight from Washington, D.C. Chris. Thank you. I've known Chris for many, many years, and we started as being, he's the charge of the Broadcasters Convention that's here every year. And we started off by being business partners and became very close friends. And he's been a good mentor for me over the years, and talking about ways we can make the convention center better for the customers. And so I think that's very, very critical for all of us. So thank you for being here. A couple of other just real quick mentions. Two of our daughters are here tonight. We have Robin and Kathy. She's with her husband, John Keating. Two of our 10 grandchildren, Bridget and Caroline. And the person who really should be up here accepting this award with me is my wife, Mary Jo. I love you very much, and she's been the strength of us forever. So back in 1973, I was working for the telephone company and was looking for a marketing job and had the opportunity to drop a resume off at the convention center, and they were looking for a marketing research person, somebody to take the information that they had and put it into marketing and marketing research, because that was not being done in the destination at the time. And so that was my first job at the convention center. And I can tell you that we're the leader in research throughout the world in the convention tourism business. All of our decisions are research-based. And that was really the start of my career there, and it's been a fantastic journey all the way through. It's kind of ironic that two broadcasters were two of the very important people that I have met over the years who I met that week. My boss on Monday asked me if I would, my first day, asked me if I'd like to go to lunch, and I said, well, sure, you're the boss, I'll go to lunch with you. And he said, well, we're going to go to lunch with Frank Gifford. So that was Monday. On Friday, he came back to me and he said, I'd like for you to go to lunch with me again. I said, okay. And we went to lunch with Dick Clark, two great industry giants of the broadcast industry. In fact, I later became good friends with Dick Clark over the years as a result of that. So I've had those opportunities, but it's really been a great partnership. I could not have achieved or been part of anything without the partnerships that we have had at the convention center. You start with our resort partners. We have the greatest hotels in the world. You start with the elected officials that we have, our board of directors. I could give you a list of the board of directors at the convention center over the last 45 years, and it's a who's who of Las Vegas. The movers and the shakers and the hotel people and the business people, all of them collectively made this happen. It was the business community back in 1955 that said we need to have a convention center with a room tax. It's been successful, and we are number one. We've been number one for the last 24 years. Thank you. But you have to also, Las Vegas is the only city that evolved to host people. There's no other city in the United States or probably the world that evolved to do that. And we provide the service that our customers need. We provide the brand promise and the brand service that they need. And those 450,000 employees who are working every single day to make sure that every customer is special, every customer is wanted and welcomed, that's why we are so successful, and that's why we have over 42 million people a year, and we need to congratulate them every single day. And I've worked with thousands of employees at the convention center. We have a staff right now of about 525. And I can tell you that's the reason that we really are successful as a convention center and a convention bureau. They live the brand, they house the brand, they grow the brand, they deliver on their own brand promise. They make sure that everybody that comes into the convention center, all 2 million of them each year, feel very, very special. And I need to also salute all of them for what they have done for the destination and the partnership that we have had over the years. So we need to give them a round of applause too. And over the years, I've been the most fortunate person in Las Vegas. I would have never dreamed that I would have been able to do what I have done over those 45 years. But it's all been about working with people. We're in a people-to-people industry. Travel is something that can make people grow together. They can exchange ideas on the convention side. But I've been part of that and very, very lucky. And I would never change what I have done 1 inch. I have had such a great run and a great ride. And I owe it to all the people who have been around me. I have to recognize and single out R&R partners. They've been our advertising agency for over 35 years, the most creative agency there is in the travel business, R&R. Billy. And that's where what happens here stays here started. It was over at the agency. It's still the #1 travel and tourism advertising campaign ever. And it's because of the hardworking people at R&R Partners in partnership with us make that happen. So thank you, Billy. So where do we go from here? I'm going to be retiring at the end of this month. I'm not going away. I'm just going to retire. I've got a lot of things to do, but I will always be selling Las Vegas. That's the most important thing for me. We have the greatest destination. The one thing that has made us so successful, too, is the evolution of the product. the great people who have been in this industry, the Boyd family, the Gahn family, Kirk Krikorian. We've got Steve Wynn, who's the most creative hotel entrepreneur that has ever been in Las Vegas. We've got all of the Harry Wald at Caesar's Palace. All of these people work together, and we're part of the success because we keep reinventing ourselves. And so there's about 10,000 rooms that will come online the next couple of years. We've got over 2 million new exhibit space and meeting rooms in the destination coming online. We now have evolved into the sports capital of the world, Las Vegas. You can tick off the 51s, the Lights, the Aces, the Golden Knights, and the Raiders. And I may take a little book on this a little later, but I will predict that soon we will have a Major League Baseball team and an NBA team. So you go ahead and book that. So thank you to the broadcasters of Nevada. You've been a great partner with the Convention Center and with our industry. Thank you, Mitch, for all your leadership. And thank all of you for coming out tonight. And go Vegas and keep selling.
Ladies and gentlemen, the silent auction is now closed. On behalf of all the scholarship recipients, we'd like to thank you for your support. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the induction of the class of 2018. Melissa Carlson, 20 years. Melissa is being escorted by scholarship recipient William Compton. Melissa is most proud of a piece she did with the widow of a 9/11 victim who trusted her with her husband's story and called the piece beautiful. It was the highest compliment she had ever received and one she'll never forget. Judith L. Green, 20 years. Judith is being escorted by scholarship recipient Connor Glisson. Judith is inspired by the journalists who care about telling stories. She's come across so much talent during her tenure and is inspired every single day. Mark S. Murakami, 20 years. Mark is being escorted by scholarship recipient Emily Fisher. Mark's inspiration is Ralph Tawdry, former president and COO of Intermountain West Communications. Ralph taught Mark that it was okay to make mistakes. It's how you learn from them to improve and move forward. Kelly Sheehan, 20 years. Escorting Kelly is scholarship recipient Trevor Glisson. Kelly's funniest memory in broadcasting was working overnights at KMMK and being locked out of the studio while on crutches with a full leg cast. Rhiannon played nonstop for 25 minutes while she hobbled around searching for security to let her in. Thankfully, she's back to full health. Alan Roberts, 20 years. Alan is being escorted by scholarship recipient Danielle Basilio. Alan's earliest inspiration was Gary Owens. From laugh-ins to his actual on-air work, Gary just made broadcasting look so cool. Rhonda Van Winkle, 20 years. Rhonda is being escorted by scholarship recipient Nick Wortham. Rhonda's proudest moment was in 2001 when she organized the station's first live telethon. They raised $25,000 for the families of the 9/11 first responders. Paul Grant, 21 years. Paul's being escorted by scholarship recipient Allison Casey. Paul's inspired by all the people behind the scenes that he has worked with over the years. who have stayed sane and kept things together, even when sometimes it seemed like everything was burning down around them. Milena Joy Curtin, 21 years. Milena could not be here tonight, but accepting on her behalf is scholarship recipient Ronnie Gonzalez. Mercedes Martinez, 21 years. Mercedes is being escorted by scholarship recipient Stephen Joseph Jr. Mercedes cites that her proudest moment has been being able to tell those that said you can't, that she can. Julie A. Pyle, 21 years. Julie is being escorted by scholarship recipient Michael Lasso. Julie's proudest moment is launching Valley View Live in 2014. There was no mold. She created everything about the show from concept to air. It was an amazing experience to see it all come together. Steve Tashara, 21 years. Steve is being escorted by scholarship recipient Kira Cooley. Steve's proudest moment was researching and broadcasting the local news on KTHO from 1982 to 1985. It was everything the listeners wanted and needed to know in the days before the internet, when the radio was really the only reliable source of information. Trevor J. Smith, 21 years. Trevor could not be here tonight. Accepting on his behalf is scholarship recipient Cameron Aitken. Kim Wagner, 22 years. Kim could not be here tonight as well. Accepting on her behalf is scholarship recipient George Lopez. Jay Slater Charlton, 22 years. Escorting Jay is scholarship recipient Jade Foote. Jay's funniest moment is losing an on-air bet. He bet that Boise State would beat Colin Kaepernick in UNR. If UNR won, he would stand in rush hour traffic wearing only a diaper. Well, he had to put on his Pampers. J.C. Fernandez, 22 years. J.C. is being escorted by scholarship recipient Evelyn Hernandez. Starting out, J.C. was inspired by morning shows like Howard Stern. Today, he finds inspiration from Ryan Seacrest for how he manages all of his on-air responsibilities, Conan O'Brien for his longevity, and Jimmy Fallon for how he's reinventing the late show genre. Marilyn T. Miller, 22 years. Marilyn is being escorted by scholarship recipient Evan Murphy. Marilyn's broadcasting career has been inspired by former managers Dave Molinaro, Mitch Fox, Lee Winston, and Emily Nielsen. They all believed in her and her work. They taught her that mistakes happen and life is not all about work. Chris Bose Ongwe, 22 years. Chris is being escorted by scholarship recipient Jordan Griffin. Bose is most proud of his time as a photojournalist, editor, and producer for a nationally televised RV travel show and being able to travel around the country. Wade Barnett, 23 years. Escorting Wade is scholarship recipient Michaela Jackson. In Wade's broadcasting career, he's most proud of being the only broadcast news photographer allowed in the Lovelock Correctional Facility for the O.J. Simpson parole hearing. Miriam Gonzalez, 23 years. Miriam is being escorted by scholarship recipient Marco Santander. Miriam's proudest moment was being the only female in a team launching a new Spanish network in the U.S. called Azteca America. The network is now available in most of the United States, and she's humbled to know that she played a part. Edward Francisco Green, 23 years. Edward is being escorted by scholarship recipient Rachel Jones. Edward is most proud of his work during the 1 October tragedy. His station banded together to put as much info and stories about the victims and heroes together to help the community and themselves heal. Edward says he saw the best in his coworkers and his community. Jeffrey K. Howard, 23 years. Jeffrey's being escorted by scholarship recipient Caitlin O'Vera. Jeffrey's proud of the interview he did with Steven Spielberg, all while having the flu and a 103-degree fever. He was not going to let his 15 minutes with Spielberg go, and it turned out to be one of his all-time favorite interviews. Frank Zambolito, 23 years. Zombo cannot be here tonight, but accepting on his behalf is scholarship recipient Kayleen Tallens. Penny Tashara, 23 years. Penny's being escorted by scholarship recipient Jason Toktajian. Penny's most proud moment was completing her first special assignment from her GM, Ollie Hayden, at KTHO. She was asked to organize and implement a Stroh's beer promotion with no prior experience. The event was a success, with the help of her new friend and future husband, Steve Teixeira. William Rowe, 24 years. William is being escorted by scholarship recipient Emily Fisher. When we asked Bill to tell us what his funniest memory in broadcasting, he simply said, "There's no answer I'm going to tell you that won't get me fired." Mark A. Carey, 25 years. Mark is being escorted by scholarship recipient Danielle Basilio. Mark's most proud moment is seeing his son also work in the business. It looks like talent runs in the family. Willie Garrett, 26 years. Escorting Willie is scholarship recipient Allison Casey. Willie's funniest moment in his broadcasting career is the day they did a live shot at a bar. As soon as they went live, a bunch of drunk guys pulled their pants down on live TV. There you go, Willie. David Clevenance, 27 years. David is being escorted by scholarship recipient Kira Cooley. David is inspired by those he helps. It feels great to help recruit volunteers for the Ronald McDonald Family Room at Sunrise Hospital, or to see a small business thrive after a commercial scheduled airs. Eric Dahl showed David how to use broadcasting as a superpower. Dave Chapman, 28 years. Dave has been escorted by scholarship recipient Cameron Aiken. Dave's funniest memory is when he invited James Brown to the station for a live interview. The venue where Mr. Brown was performing didn't have limousine service, so Dave offered to pick him up in his 1984 Subaru wagon. His publicist quickly let Dave know that Mr. Brown wasn't going to ride in a Subaru, no matter what the year of the vehicle. Bo Jackson, 30 years. Bo's being escorted by scholarship recipient Jade Foote. Bo's most proud moment is helping a teenage runaway who called in to his overnight show on KLUC. He counseled her and gave her the runaway hotline. 2 years later, she called Bo to thank him for the advice and said she was going to college on a scholarship. Patricia Miller, 32 years. Escorting Patricia Miller is scholarship recipient Nick Wortham. Patricia was inspired by William McReynolds of Meredith Broadcasting, who encouraged her to start a career in sales. William J. Simons Jr., 32 years. William is being escorted by scholarship recipient Jordan Griffin. William's most proud moment is being inducted into the Nevada Broadcasters Hall of Fame tonight and having his brother, retired Sergeant First Class Leonard W. Ortiz, present to witness. William Willoughby Carlin, 35 years. William is being escorted by scholarship recipient Evelyn Hernandez. Willoughby is most proud of starting 4 brand new radio stations from scratch in Reno and launching them all in 1 month. Cat Thomas, 35 years. Cat is being escorted by his son and scholarship recipient Robbie Quaintance. Cat is most proud of the legacy that is the Chet Buchanan Show Toy Drive on KLUC. They all took great pride in hearing how many families were helped and could never imagine how it would grow into one of the biggest holiday traditions in Las Vegas. Mark Jacobs, 37 years. Escorting Mark is scholarship recipient Michaela Jackson. Mark's inspiration in television news comes from Walter Cronkite and Bob Stodel. He was inspired by Steven Spielberg and Tony Scott in motion pictures. Jay Taylor, 40 years. Jay's being escorted by scholarship recipient Rachel Jones. Jay is proud of the contributions he has made in broadcasting throughout the years and hope that they've made a difference in the industry and in listeners' lives. Jay says he's most proud of meeting his wife Heidi in the birth of their first son. Mark Easter, 42 years. Mark is being escorted by scholarship recipient Caitlin O'Vera. Mark says that every single memory he has about this business are memories he cherishes and is proud of. He says he loves this business. Last but certainly not least, Jack F. Abel with 53 years. Jack's being escorted by scholarship recipient Kayleen Talons. Jack is proud of so many moments throughout his career, but he's most proud of achieving over 50 years of experience in broadcasting. He's been able to participate in all the changes through the technology evolution and has interacted with so many talented people. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the class of 2018 Hall of Fame inductees. Hey, congratulations.
Nice voice. So are you in Vegas? All right, so do you do voiceover work? What's that got to do with it? I'm ready. You got a studio where you can do it with somebody calls and say, hey, I need a 30-second read?
Definitely a school.
How do I get a hold of you? You got a car?
I'm in
Reno.
Okay.
I do creative services.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Please welcome the Vice President of the Nevada Broadcasters Association and Executive Director of the Nevada Broadcasters Foundation, Eric Benici.
Thank you. What a fantastic evening we have had today, celebrating our industry and our state. Tonight, we have honored those who have contributed to our industry. We have honored those who have contributed to our state. And we have recognized our future with our scholarship recipients.
This year, the Nevada Broadcasters Foundation will write checks in the upwards of $288,000 in tuition funding. With no government funding, we rely 100% on the services of our volunteers and the generosity of all of you guys who are here tonight. It gives me great honor and with humble dignity to thank each and every one of you who have contributed in paving the way for the future broadcasters. I congratulate our honorees. I congratulate our inductees. I celebrate our scholarship recipients. But most of all, I thank all of you for being here and celebrating with us tonight. Good night and thank you.
see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful